Hello everyone, and welcome to our final Building Bridges video. Today I want to look back over our design thinking model. So let's have another look at that 5-circle diagram. We started by looking at empathy. Now empathy is a really important place to start because design problems and engineering problems are people problems. And empathy is all about trying to understand things from the perspective of the person whose problem we're trying to solve. The next stage is defining the problem. And we remember, a problem isn't the same as a puzzle or necessarily an assessment task. And some problems can be pretty wicked. Next, we move to ideation, or coming up with ideas. And we looked at a number of techniques for generating as many fresh ideas as possible, as well as how to avoid getting stuck on your first concept. So what's next? Prototyping and testing. Ideally, at this stage, you've got a wide range of potential solutions to choose from, but which ones do you prototype and test? How do you choose? Time for another diagram. So far, you've been using divergent thinking techniques like brainstorming or morphological charts to get your thinking wider and bolder. Now it's time to use some convergent techniques to cull your ideas, to combine them, or to come up with the best ones going forward. So what are some convergent techniques you can use? One of the best methods is the 2x2 matrix. You draw two axes like these and label them so. Impossible to implement, easiest to implement. Highest impact and lowest impact. Then write down your concepts and put them in the quadrant where you think they belong. Using sticky notes is a good idea because it makes you able to move them around or combine them. The 2x2 matrix is sometimes called the how, wow, and now matrix. Ideas that are impossible but high impact, you label them how for future development. Lowest impact and easy, do them now, but they're not going to be that spectacular. But high impact and easy is our wow corner. And these are the ideas we want to focus on. And say you've got 2 or 3 ideas in your wow quadrant. That's plenty to take into prototyping. Prototyping is about making your idea tangible in order to give your potential users the opportunity to taste and see. Prototypes are mock-ups. They're works in progress. They don't have to be sophisticated or look realistic. A storyboard or an interactive role play can be a prototype, as can a cardboard model or a set of wireframes for a digital interface. What and how you prototype depends on what you want to test out with your potential users. The two go hand in hand. So when you prototype, make sure you have a clear goal in mind. You may only want to test out one aspect of a new idea with a user, so make sure you showcase that so you can get feedback on it when you prototype. This leads us straight to testing and feedback. So, what's the verdict? For a successful testing session, you may need to set the scene with appropriate props, assistants playing roles, and a storyline to establish the narrative. You can gather data from your test in several different ways. You observe your users as they interact with the prototype. Make sure you document what happens by taking notes or recording video. You can ask for verbal feedback during or after the process, or ask your participants to complete a written survey. You can also give your testers some materials to use to modify the prototype to better meet their needs. Then it's time to analyse your results. Look for patterns in the feedback you received and the observations you made. Did your prototype perform as you thought it would? What worked? What needed to be changed? The insights you've gathered from your user testing will inform your next steps. So, where to next? Let's look back at our design thinking diagram. While it looks like 5 distinct circles, it's not a straightforward linear process. Design thinking is iterative, which means as we go forward, we may also go back. The decisions and the information we find out at the testing stage may send us back to coming up with more ideas at the iteration stage. Or we might want to go back to defining the problem, or even using more empathy to get a grasp of what it's like to be the person with the problem. So during the design thinking process, if you feel sometimes that you're going backwards, you're probably doing it right. I'd encourage you to look back on the complete design thinking process and reflect on how you can use it in your professional practice as an engineer. In the notes with this video, I've put some links to more information on prototyping and testing, as well as some questions for discussion. That's it, everyone. It's been great working with you, and I'm sure you've got engineering complexity licked.